way down if you want to be here. So you can make your down. We'll start the حلقة in 5 minutes. بالنسبة للأخوات ممكن يعني تحضروا من في الأسفل من الدرج الخلفي، والحلقة تبدأ إن شاء الله في 5 دقائق. شكرا.
اوكي، نبدأ بسم الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه والتابعين، وارض اللهم عنا معهم أجمعين، اللهم آمين. وبعد. طبتم وطاب ممشاكم وتبوأتم من الجنة منزلا. May you be happy and may your walk be blessed and may you be granted a special place in paradise, as the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith, for people who visit or see or meet each other for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And as we just finished Ramadan, we all have some reflections and thoughts and feelings, and everyone has built his own experience in Ramadan. I know this for sure. If I tell you, like, imagine this, I'm telling you a story of a man or a woman or a girl or a boy who, this is a story, like, assume that you didn't have this Ramadan, didn't have this experience. Someone goes for 8 hours, goes to work for 8 hours, comes back and pray for 1 hour and a half. Then he goes for like a short rest or a short break. Then he goes back to the masjid to pray for 1 more hour. Then he continues reciting Quran until Fajr. then he fasts the following day, and he did this every day for 30 days non-stop. If I tell you this story, if you read it in any book, how would you feel? Wow, I wish I could be that man. Let me tell you something. You are that man. You did it. And you also are this girl or woman. You did it, mashallah. Yani, you are becoming a story that we read about in about old people, righteous people. You have done it, alhamdulillah. So this is one of the beauties of Ramadan, one of the virtues of Ramadan, that it gives every one of us a different understanding of ourselves. I'm not that lazy person I thought I am. I'm not really very distant from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Actually, I have a heart. This is something for myself, I feel it every Ramadan, I do have a heart, it works. It feels it is right there, it's still alive. So this feeling is something I'm sure, I said a few, a very quick reflection about what I thought, but I'm sure that everyone here has his and her own reflection. And this is what I want to hear from you. I want to listen, to learn from your experience in Ramadan. But I would like to encourage you to say, to share your experience by saying this hadith. A man came to the Prophet sallallahu I forgot. مش عشان رمضان ننسى. صلوا على رسول الله 10 times before we start our halqa. Let's do it again. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. I wish I could cut and paste what I said before in this salah and then paste it after we said it. But inshallah, Allah will accept it. So a man came to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he told him, my camel or my horse or whatever he uses for work, his ride, has been too tired and cannot carry me anymore. And please give me a mount. He went to the Prophet and the Prophet said, I wish I could, but I have none. I don't have any mount that I could give you. Then another man was sitting in this halaqa, and he told the Prophet Ya Rasulullah, أعرف رجلا يأتيه بجمل. I know another person, he is wealthy, and he could give him a camel, something for free that he can use for his work. Then the man who came with this request left. And he went with that Sahabi, they went to that man and he really did give him a camel. And then they came back to the Prophet ﷺ with the new ride the man got from that wealthy person. Then the Prophet ﷺ said, Hadith Sahih fi Sahih Muslim, قال إن الدال على الخير له مثل أجر فاعله وفي رواية الدال على الخير كفاعله. The Prophet ﷺ said, whoever leads to good, he is like the one who does it. Whoever guides another person to do something good, even if he did not do it himself, he will be rewarded as if he was the person who did it. So the man who said, he linked these two people together, the wealthy man with the needy person, he didn't actually put any money. He didn't give any charity. He didn't do anything, but he just said a word, I know someone who can help you. Go to that person. He went to that person, he got the help he needed, and he got the reward. And the man who connected these two people together, he got the same reward as if he was the wealthy man who gave the charity. So when you share your experience and your story, it's not riyah. It's not something that, no, I actually would prefer to hide. No, it's good to hide, of course, as long as you were, the time you are performing your ibadah. But you can, in this type of gathering, you can share your experience, your story, how you felt, how Ramadan affected your life, how you are, or what are your plans after Ramadan, and what you think is something very, شيء مختلف, something very different that hit your heart in Ramadan, and you felt, okay, this will make a difference. This had actually made a difference in my heart, and I would like to continue doing this after Ramadan. So when you do this, you are guiding other people to good. You are دال على الخير ولك مثل أجر فعله. And let me tell you something that happened actually with me. Like long time ago when I was still in Egypt, I used to, in one Ramadan, I think that was 2009 or 8, something like this. In one Ramadan, I used to say every night a sunnah, a forgotten sunnah. The title of that for that Ramadan was reviving the forgotten sunnahs. So I said, when after we finish the prayer, Watr prayer, what do we say? Subhan al-Malik al-Qudus, right? This is the dhikr we say after Watr. So I said it, and for some reason I completely forgot about this. I forgot even about the hadith, not just that I said it. I forgot that there is something called sunnah to say this dhikr after Watr. The following year, the next Ramadan, a lady came to me and she said, I'm so grateful for what you said last year in Ramadan, that I haven't left saying that dhikr since that Ramadan. I forgot that I even knew this hadith, that this hadith even exists. And she came to me and she said to me, thank you for saying this. I have not missed it even one night. Every time after Witr, I would say, Subhan al-Malik al-Qudus 3 times. Ever since she said this to me, I have been saying the same. So I feel like it happened and every time I say this hadith to anyone, I remember this lady. I know for sure Allah, for some reason, He made me, for that reason actually, He made me forget this hadith. So this lady would come back to me and she will get the reward for every time I say Subhanallah Malik al-Qudus, and for everyone I tell them this hadith about Subhanallah Malik al-Qudus. She is now, I don't know where she is, I don't know who she is, I know nothing about her, but this happened like 12, 15 years ago, and I believe she's still getting the reward of every time whether I say Subhanallah Malik al-Qudus or every time I say to someone to say the same hadith. So this is how Allah makes us as a community become very strong together, and this builds a lot of ages and amar that will be added to our credit on the Day of Judgment. Like someone lived on this earth for the maximum. How would you live? Anyone? 100 years? Yani this is a number that we see it in records. Like this person, like he lived 103 years. This is wow, something that doesn't really happen. But we as Muslims, when we come and stand before Allah on the Day of Judgment with da'wah, الدال على الخير كفاعله, those who guide or lead to khair, they are getting rewarded as if they did that khair. And for Laylatul Qadr, 83 years of worship. For fasting 6 days of Shawwal, you get the reward of fasting the full year. So we have very short age or umr in our lifetime, and on the day of Judgment, we'll be standing before Allah with maybe hundreds of years of ibadah. How? By this. And that's why when you think of it, that's why the Prophet ﷺ is the most rewarded person ever. Because everything we do is coming from him. He taught everyone everything. So everything will go back to him, ﷺ. And that is why the ulama say, no one can go before as-sahaba. No one can at all come on the Day of Judgment and he stands before as-sahaba. No way. Why? Because even if we worship Allah more than as-sahaba, we have not learned anything that we are doing in our worship except from them. So they will be getting this whole reward. And if you think of this is a lot. Like I say, like a word, like that's why the ulama, they always encourage parents to teach their kids Surah Al-Fatiha. Why? Because this is something that they will never stop reciting every rak'ah until they die, and they will teach it to their kids. So at least you can teach something from the religion to your kids that will stay on earth until the earth is خلاص انتهي. Why? Because they will teach their kids will teach their kids, and it will be a non-stop rewards for you. So when you think of this, you might think like, this is a lot. Like I say a word to someone, he takes it and he does it, then I get the same reward. How many rewards are we getting? لا يضل ربك ولا ينسى. Allah does not forget. Everything is recorded and everything is written. We forget, but He doesn't forget. So when we share our experience, I'm saying all of this for that reason. Whatever you say now, if someone heard it from you and took it and started to implement whatever you said, this will be a reward that will be added to you. Like I could tell you a hadith, for example, just a quick example. I'm saying a new hadith that you have never heard about Qiyamul Layl, for example. And then I went back and slept. You went back and prayed. I will be sleeping, resting, and getting the reward of praying all night. Why? Because you did. Because I said it and you did it. It's not like, nifaq, this is something different. It just happened that I didn't pray whatever I said for you to pray, but you did that. So, الدال على الخير كفاعله. When you say or share your experience, make sure that this is something will be added in your سجل الحسنات, the records of hasanat. Okay, so who would like to go first and share a reflection, a feeling, something that you felt in this masjid, or when you were praying alone from the fast or from Ramadan, from anything that happened during that month? Okay, I'm done for today, by the way. Now it's your turn. You will say, by the way, and just take your time, think, and inshallah you will say something. And also sisters, you will say, Bismillah. I know it takes time to think of something, but inshallah, I will give you some time. Sallallahu Rasulillah alayhi salatu wasalam. There's a mic here. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. One thing I took from Ramadan, especially coming into Tahajjud here, was when you hear the Imam recite, you pick up things from the Quran that you normally don't pick up sometimes. And it made me realize the ayah, وَإِنَّهُ لَكِتَابٌ عَزِيزٌ. Made me realize the Quran will give you as much as you give it. So one takeaway was, instead of just having like a daily wird as like something you have to do or set aside sometime whenever you have it, we should strive to really sacrifice like the best and most beloved time to us to really get the most out of the Quran. And it made me realize it's no coincidence that the greatest ulama were also the greatest worshippers. And the time of Tahajjud is very special indeed. But there were just some things there, subhanAllah, I picked up during Tahajjud that would have been impossible, I guess, other times. I think, inshallah, moving forward, it'd be good to learn how to properly approach the Quran, not just treat it like any other routine or something that we do. But the Quran is Kitab Aziz.
Speaking of Quran, we should remember our Sheikh Abdullah Kamil, who passed away like 2 days ago, and he was one of the people of Quran. And his whole life, the story of his life, and even his death, is something different. That Allah, I feel like when I read or heard about his death, and about, of course, his life as well, a blind man who had a chance to just take this as an excuse for doing nothing, and yet he was doing a lot of things that people like us don't actually do. So when you think of that, and the way he died, he was 39 years old, just went to sleep and never woke up. This whole story, I feel like Allah is sending some people like him for us to tell us, Al-khayru fi ummati rasul ila yawm al-qiyamah. Al-khayr in this ummah will never end. It's in every corner. What we have seen here in the masjid in Ramadan, and many things we saw in this masjid also would make you feel like Al-khayr fi hadhihi al-ummah ila yawm al-qiyamah. Al-khayr never ends. It just needs someone to have the sufficient ikhlas to see it and to really bring it out or bring it up or out from people. But it is always there. Al-khayr is always there, alhamdulillah. So this is the first khatira or reflection. Jazakumullah khair. What else? Tfaddal.
One of the things that I actually learned, subhanAllah, during Taraweeh or during Tahajjud is when we're reading Quran, it's very, very effective to try to bring whatever you're feeling at that moment to that recitation. So as you're reciting and you're bringing whatever that happened during the day into it. So you're kind of you're forcing yourself to feel it, even though like, you're tired, you're not feeling it, you're upset, or you're not really, you're kind of bringing that, whatever emotion you're feeling, you're bringing it into that recitation. And sometimes really taking, like just stopping at like the ru'us of the ayat, the end of the ayat, like for like a brief second, like lets you kind of process the ayah or even that whole passage that you just read. And like it just kind of like bringing that emotion into it, it really, really makes the recitation different. Because now when you're tired, you're telling Allah you're tired as you're reciting. So it's like a really, it really helps you, I guess, be more focused and more aware of what you're reading. Because we're all, subhanAllah, we're all tired.
صحيح نعم جزاكم الله خيرا. Yeah, it's all about Quran. I like the both khatiras are about Quran, and يعني this means that Ramadan did its يعني الهدف منه, its goal, just to revive the feeling or the connection with Quran. MashaAllah. Okay, I can share something with you, and then I will hear maybe sisters. Is there any sister who raised her hand? You? A sister, not a daughter. Okay, go ahead. Okay, so about ikhlas, this is something that was really يعني when you think of ikhlas, we know that this is like the meaning of ikhlas is to want the sake of Allah or wajh Allah from everything you do. But when you think of the ikhlas that was in the Prophet's heart, it is something very different. A man went to the Prophet ﷺ and he looked at his face and he became a Muslim just from the first look. He said, هذا ليس وجه كذاب هذا وجه صادق. He looked at his face and the ikhlas, the Prophet ﷺ filled his heart and reflected on his face, on his eyes, the way he smiles, the way he looks, the way he speaks, his words, ikhlas everywhere. So the man just saw his face for 1 second and he said, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa annaka Rasulullah. You cannot be anything but a prophet. Sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Another man would read a word the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, and then he would become a Muslim. And the waves, yani his ikhlas, I see it as such, it's like waves of khair coming from his ikhlas that keeps touching everyone's heart. All of us here are here because of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Everyone who becomes a Muslim or converts to Islam because of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, because of his ikhlas. He passed away sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He never built any institute. He never built more than 1 or 2 masjids. And he never actually even established the state of Islam. But after he died, soon after he died, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Muslims from North Africa, from Iraq, from India, from China, from Russia, from all of these places, people from all of these places became Muslims, following his ikhlas. So it's not only the point here that this is not only about the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The amount of ikhlas we have in our hearts will stay after us, even after we leave this life. If you put a donation, this khatara came to me when we were collecting donations, and I kept thinking, it's very hard to stand here and keep asking people for funds. It's not an easy job. But when I thought, if someone put even so little, like $1, but his ikhlas was really something big that Allah could saw from him, this $1 could make this masjid manara lil-ilm. Something that people come from all over the place to come here and just to pray here because of one person. He even could have donated like a $1 or even $10 or something like that. But it's all about ikhlas. So before we start our prayers, before we put our donations, before we do any action, we have to stand still for a moment and ask, what do I need from this? What is my intention? Then you say, I want Allah. No. Just one more time. Ask yourself, what am I doing here? Why am I here? Why are you here today? You have to keep asking yourself a couple of times until you feel there is a feeling, there is something that you can taste, you can feel in your heart, that ikhlas started to grow. Yeah, now I feel I got the answer. Now I can start doing what I was gonna do. So al-ikhlas, as I said, the Prophet ﷺ, his ikhlas is what keeps us Muslims up until today. What brings people to Islam was his ikhlas, not his da'wah, not his effort, but his ikhlas that was behind his da'wah and behind his effort. It's not anything about what he was doing. It was about his heart that was moving among people, and even after he left this world, his ikhlas, we can still feel it. You just read one hadith, you feel like, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you feel this feeling for him. You could be the same without being eloquent and being able to give speeches, without being a wealthy man who can fund or give a lot of money to the masjid or to people or to students, without being even someone who is able to help or serve in the community. Just by having ikhlas, you can do a lot. And I believe in this. In every successful Muslim community, there are one or two people who do nothing, who does nothing actually. But because of their ikhlas, we are all protected and guided and pushed to the right path. It's all about ikhlas. And we can keep talking a lot about this, but I want to emphasize that, meaning that when whatever we have done in Ramadan, nothing will be counted. Nothing will be counted as a reward for anyone except for those actions or deeds that were filled and what other word is more than filled? Packed and filled and within every corner in your heart with ikhlas. One moment of ikhlas, wallahi, when you hear the stories of the righteous people and you see how they would say some words, you could keep reading, like, how could someone say a very beautiful statement like this? Where did it come from? It came from his heart. How could someone say a word 1400 years ago, and up until today when we read it, it changes our hearts? How could this happen? We read many books. There are billions of books out there. You can read it and your heart doesn't move. But when you read hadith, or a qawl from sahabi, or qawl from tabi'i, or qawl ahad al-salihin, you feel your heart is moving. What happened? What made his word that he said, and he died and was buried like hundreds of years ago, but yet when you read his word, whatever he said, you feel your heart moves with that words. His ikhlas. It's not that you have ikhlas only, it's also the ikhlas that has filled his heart. And when you think also of many scholars, we have thousands, hundreds of thousands of scholars, but you see that a few of them whom became the major scholars in our life, Madhab Imam Abu Hanifa, when you think what made those qira'at Warsh, لماذا Warsh? Warsh was one, or Asim, or Hafs, or any of these great scholars. There were thousands of qurra, many, so many of them. Why now we say qira'at Hafs? Why did Allah make qira'at Hafs dominant in Egypt, for example, and Warsh in Maghrib and Aljazair? Why? It's only about their ikhlas. There were many teachers of Quran at their time, but the ikhlas they had in their hearts was unique. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose them to have, after they left this life, to have them live forever on earth until the hour. So again, it's all about ikhlas. So this was one of the reflections that I really thought about in Ramadan. Okay, I want to hear from you. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. Yeah, sisters or brothers. Your turn again. I'm sure everyone has a story, but it's just maybe we need some time to remember it. تفضل.
Assalamualaikum. So this Ramadan, I feel like sometimes every year gets better, and for me, sometimes I feel like sometimes we take stuff for granted in general, saying oh, we can drive, we can do all this type of thing, But sometimes like we have nothing to do, and sometimes like, oh, I want to get to this place, I want to get to this place, and worst comes to worst, I just walk, because back in the days, like the Sahabas just walk to places, like we still young, we still can like walk and stuff, so why we don't take the ability to use our youth or our ability to keep ourselves healthy and things like keep ourselves strong, so let's walk to places, because they say like every step you're like getting close to Jannah. So I just felt like this Ramadan I said, I can't drive, so I should figure out just a walker, I just wanted. So I feel like every step is like you're getting closer and closer. I feel like it's better than trying to always like taking things that go do the shortcuts and taking your time there.
MashaAllah, I know, because Sufyan, he lives like 15 minutes away from the masjid, and he would come walking. He wouldn't find a ride sometimes, so he would just come walking. That's why every step was a big reward for him, inshallah. Jazakumullah khairan. I would like to hear more. Yeah, تفضل. Adam.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
Obviously, Ramadan's a golden opportunity to build some habits. I found myself doing a lot of stuff I wasn't doing outside of Ramadan that I still do. Obviously, we want to try and carry over any good habits. I also found myself stopping a lot of things that maybe didn't please Allah. And I think that's because when we abstain ourselves from that which is halal, which is food and drink, stopping ourselves from haram becomes much, much easier, because if I don't have food and drink, then so that's pretty hard.
Yeah, no. Jazakumullah khairan. MashaAllah. I can hear your mind, Muhammad Khafif. Yeah, I know what you're thinking of. Adam, can you bring the mic here? I knew it.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillah, this Ramadan was really very special, especially having two beautiful reciters, yourself and Sheikh Yunus, that made the experience, somewhat unique from other Ramadans in the past. The entire mood of the masjid was beautiful, and it started from the parking lot, where the brothers that took care of the parking lot greeted you with a big smile, always, willing to help and smiling. And then you come into the masjid, and everybody that volunteered did such an amazing job in trying to make sure that all the worshippers had a beautiful experience every single night. And also, just seeing the youngsters like Hisham and others fighting us old people for the first row every night. So that was beautiful. The Ummah is well in Allah, alhamdulillah.
Are you sure you're happy because of that?
I know, at some point I'm like, let them get it. I felt like we were having a monopoly over the first row. But alhamdulillah, it was beautiful. I mean, everything was just perfect, and to many more, inshallah.
MashaAllah. Yeah, this is I would like to sound this. التنافس في الخير من علامات صحة أي مجتمع. Competing in خير, like the first row of the masjid, or calling adhan. You find many people standing here, everyone waiting for the last minute before adhan, then he just stands in front of the mic. I will call adhan now, that's it. So all of these things are signs of a healthy, like spiritual, healthy community. When you see people like trying to compete, how much, the story when the Khalifa before Umar ibn Abdul Aziz, people used to ask, the common conversation among the community, how many money have you made, how many money have you earned, how many jobs do you do? This is the conversation. When Umar ibn Abdul Aziz came with his way, people started to ask each other, do you pray at night? How many rak'ah have you prayed yesterday? I didn't see you in Fajr last night. So the conversation changed. People became healthier in terms of the spiritual health here because of Umar ibn Abdul Aziz. So what I saw here is, as Muhammad said, like people, the brothers were competing, not fighting sometimes. We're competing in who is going to be in the first line, who will call adhan, who would serve other people. This is a very, very, very sign of a healthy community. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. And I always remembered a part of an ayah when I saw our volunteers with all things happening around here. I always remembered 3 words in Surah Yusuf. Inni, ana, akhuk. When Binyamin, Yusuf's brother, alayhim salam jami'an, when he came with the other brothers to Yusuf, and Yusuf at that time was Aziz al-Misr, he was the minister or something like that, and he recognized them. And you know the story, they did not recognize him. So he went to his brother, and the brother who is like, he knew that his siblings were treating him unfairly. So he went to him and he said, Inni ana akhuk. When he met with, later on, when he met with the rest of the siblings and he wanted to tell them that I am Yusuf, what did he say? Qala ana Yusuf. I am Yusuf, that's it. But when he talked to his brother, he said, Inni ana akhuk. Indeed, I am your brother. Why did he say it that long? Inni has a confirmation way, tawqid. Ana, inni is ana. Both are the same. I am. Indeed is inni, the confirmation in inni. Akhuk, not Yusuf. He said, I am your brother. Why did he say that long? He wanted to make him feel peace, to feel that he is protected finally. Inni ana akhuk. I'm not their brothers. I am that brother. You remember from our childhood? It is me. Inni ana akhuk. So this way of speaking with each other, the smile, Sayyidina Yusuf, Allah said it on his behalf in this surah in a very beautiful way, that the way we talk to each other, even choosing the words, shouldn't be the same. Inni ana akhuk versus ana Yusuf. Of course, he was very merciful even with them, but the words he chose with his brother was coming actually from his heart. So when you think of this, you would find that what we saw here, all of us, the brothers with a smile, people yell at them and yet they calm them down. They serve everyone. They would even choose to serve people over coming and pray while we are here all to pray, but yet they were at the back serving people, cleaning, preparing food for us. And I remember also the hadith from Abdullah ibn Abbas when he would say, لأن أمشي في حاجة أخي مرة واحدة خير لي من أن أعتكف في مسجد الرسول شهرا. To walk or to fulfill the need of my brother just for one time is better. When he says it's better, like it's not in his sight, in Allah's sight, it's better for me than doing i'tikaf in the Prophet's masjid for 1 month, not for 10 days or 1 night. So I believe those who did i'tikaf for 1 night or a couple of hours did a lot, but those who served, who did i'tikaf and served, who came to pray, they will be rewarded like maybe the full year of i'tikaf just by serving other people here. Alhamdulillah. Jazakumullah khairan. Allah yabarik feek. Okay, sisters, your turn. Okay, go ahead. I can't hear you. Can you use the mic?
Something I noticed different in Ramadan was that I wanted to go way closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and I wanted to memorize the whole Quran, and I didn't want Ramadan to finish.
MashaAllah. The Sahaba also always said this. We didn't want Ramadan to finish. MashaAllah. Jazakumullah khairan. I would like to hear you. Just you, yes. Again? No. I know you have something to say. Please. هنا بالعربي is okay. Yeah. You can say it in Arabic or English, whatever you like.
العربي؟
كما تحب.
والله يعني آخر يوم قبل رمضان كنت أنا وإخواننا في المسجد وكنا نتكلموا على واحد ما عرفتش واش فيدنا ولا يعني هو مشكل الوقت. يعني أغلب الناس هنا في أمريكا مشكلتهم يعني فاينانشال ولا هذه، يعني اكبر مشكله عند اي واحد ربما هو الوقت. Personally, that's my problem. I don't have time to go to the gym. don't have ما عنديش وقت باش يعني ندرس اولادي كذا كذا. يعني كل هالمشاكل يعني تلخصها في حاجه واحده، هي الوقت. فسبحان الله في رمضان يعني it proves me wrong. يعني أنا نحتاج يعني على الأقل 6-7 hours في رمضان، يعني تنام 2-3 ساعات، ومع ذلك يعني كل أمور البيت وكذا والشغل تقضيها رغم أنك يعني تنام 3 أو 4 ساعات أو هذا. فسبحان الله رمضان هو شهر البركة، وهذا يعني خلاني نفكر أن الوقت يعني هو يعني لازم يعني البركة من عند الله سبحانه وتعالى حتى نحسن استغلال الوقت. يعني هو المشكل فينا احنا ربما مش يعني اليوم في 24 ساعة، ولكن it's how we manage that time, how we ورمضان يعني proves me wrong بأن it's me who's not managing the time.
You could sleep less.
Yeah. I'm sleeping less. I'm maybe deprived of food. I'm hungry, this and thirsty, but still I'm doing and even more. يعني سبحان الله رمضان شهر البركة.
جزاكم الله خيرا. This is a very good reflection. Actually, we hear and read and we watch many videos. You need 7 hours, no, actually 6 hours to sleep. Actually, no, there are 8 hours. Otherwise, you'll be feeling not good and your health will be blah, blah, blah. You know these things. But we know from our experience that this is all not correct. Yani, we could sleep less. And I would like to say something here. You know, when you play video games, you have, there are always levels, and always the last level is the hardest. This, you meet the monster or the beast, and it's very tough to pass this level. What happened in Ramadan is exactly this. Through the whole year, we have shaitan, we have, many things that distract us. Allah tied up all of them, and He is telling you, meet yourself, the beast. This is the monster, okay? It's you and you only in Ramadan. And when you see yourself after Ramadan that you did better than other months of not Ramadan, that means that this is the actual you. What you did in Ramadan is the actual you, without shaitan, without any distractions. So this is you. You can sleep less, you can do a lot of things, you can pray all night, you can go to work, you can recite Quran, you can meet people, you can serve them, you can be patient, you can smile when you are so upset, you can work hard when you are so hungry. All of what you have done is you without any, and this is the final level, this is the actual you, and this is what you should write down. This was me. This is the real me. And after Ramadan, there are many distractions, but keep remembering what is the real me, the one I met in Ramadan. So it was you. What you said just now, it was the real you that Allah created purely for, ready to go to Jannah. Then He sends the other distractions throughout the year, and then He empties you again every Ramadan to make you see yourself in the mirror without any other reflections. Jazakumullah khairan. More reflections or thoughts about Ramadan. حد رفع يده? I think you better raise your hands because I will choose. Okay, so sisters, your turn. One of you say, or I will just randomly. Okay, go ahead. Thank you. The mic man.
Assalamu alaikum. I'm going to go back to the topic of Quran that we were talking about in the beginning. And something that I've realized personally is that sometimes when I go to read my daily word of Quran, it's like I'm just reading those few pages for the sake of saying that I read it. Like at the end of the day, it's just to finish my khatam or whatever. But I realized this, it was actually after attending one of your halaqas, that when you read the Quran, you have to go into it wanting to benefit from it. Because every verse in the Quran, like no matter what the verse is, no matter how insignificant it sounds, there's something in it that you will benefit from personally. Like you just have to take the time to actually think about it. Maybe read the translation if you don't understand it. Read the tafsir, whatever you have to do, but try to tie it into your life and try to understand the deeper meaning. Because if it wasn't a gem, if it wasn't something important, it wouldn't be in the Quran. Because in the end of the day, Allah wrote this book, and Allah makes no mistakes. And Allah isn't going to put something insignificant just to waste your time in the Quran. So anything that's in the Quran, no matter what it is, there's something for you to benefit from. And so I started, like, when I open the Quran to read, it's no longer just, oh, I'm reading for the sake of reading or for the sake of memorizing or whatever the case is. I'm reading so that I can benefit. So you have to go in with the intention of whatever I read today, I'm going to benefit something from it. And when you have that intention, then you'll benefit. If you don't have the intention, maybe you'll gain like a thing or two, but you're not really going to get that fulfillment. So when you go in with the intention that this page, this 2 pages, 5 pages, whatever I read today, even if it's like half a page, I'm going to learn something from it. Allah is going to give you that guidance that you're looking for. So I just think that we should all try to approach the Quran in a different way from now on and kind of have that intention every time you open the Quran that I want to learn something new today and I want to get closer to Allah. I want to learn something new that Allah is maybe commanding me to do that I never knew, or something Allah is telling me to stay away from, or something that Allah is just like opening my eyes to about the universe, like a sign that I never noticed in the universe, in the world around me. And then that's when the Quran will change your life. Like we all want the Quran to change our life, but if we don't go into it with this intention, then it's not going to change our life. And this is all it takes.
Jazakumullah khairan. Excellent, mashallah. And I would like to add to this that when you read Quran, like I read 2 pages every day, for example, or 3 pages, whatever I read, when you think that these 2 pages, this is the turn to read these pages, actually not. This is what Allah wants for me to recite today. This is what Allah wants to tell me today. Even though I think I'm just going in order, it's not in order. Allah could make you forget, could make you read another ayah or another verse, but when you open the book, you know that this opening is not up to you. It's what Allah wants for you to read today. So you should get it as a message from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Jazakumullah khairan. MashaAllah, very good reflections and deep. I think we should have pizza. Do we have it ready? Yes? Yeah, we should have it before Isha. So we have like 30 minutes. We can have like 3 more minutes and then inshallah we'll go for dinner. One last khatira or reflection. Okay. Yeah, Yunus.
Assalamu alaikum. One thing, speaking of the Quran, but this in terms of finishing and ending and putting the Quran down, closing the Quran and stopping. One thing that I found was really powerful this Ramadan was stopping when Allah is describing Himself and when He's glorifying Himself, when He's talking about His attributes, His beautiful names, when He's talking about how powerful He is, and always ending with like SubhanAllah and just like. Not ending in a bad place, not ending in a way where like, oh, I'm distracted, I gotta go do something else, or someone's coming to talk to me, but remembering that this is Allah, and who He is, and trying to, and then glorifying Him, and also like another thing was when Allah is telling Prophet Muhammad to say something or to do something, like taking the time to think that, oh, he's actually, like remember who he's talking to in the context, and sending salawat on Prophet Muhammad because like a lot of times, it's not his name isn't necessarily mentioned all the time, so it's easy to forget like how often Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking to Prophet Muhammad. But like, keep in mind, the audience, inshallah.
Okay, that was wonderful and beneficial. Alhamdulillah ta'ala. Would like to end with dua, and before the dua, I want everyone to remember again Sheikh Abdullah Kamil in our du'as, and all our scholars and shuyukh, and everyone who taught us anything, like little or much, they deserve our du'as. اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار وارحم أمواتنا وأموات المسلمين وارحم شيخنا عبد الله كامل رحمة واسعة يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم اغفر لمشايخنا وعلمائنا ولكل من له حق علينا، واغفر لوالدينا مغفرة من عندك يا أرحم الراحمين، واجعل هذا الجمع جمعا مرحوما، واجعل تفرقنا معصوما، ولا تجعل فينا ولا بيننا ولا منا شقيا ولا محروما. ربنا اجعل خير عمرنا آخرة، وخير عملنا خواتمه، وخير أيامنا يوم أن نلقاك فيه. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على سيدنا محمد والحمد لله رب العالمين. جزاكم الله خيرا. إن شاء الله we can have pizza before we leave and before we pray Isha. The pizza is gone, I think.